Very interesting trading day. The debt market, let's get on the phone to fixed income trader at GT Bank, Bayo Omogoroye. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time. Bayo, are you on the line?
Yes, I am on the line.
Thank you. So I'll bring us up to speed this trading day. We're done with the DMO debt auction, but of course, the central bank treasury bills auction is still looming very large. How much is the regulator in mature treasury bills putting back into the system today? Is that having any effect on the liquidity size of the market?
Actually, what we had today was an OMO auction. We do not have the result of the auction yet. But yesterday, there was an auction of 105 billion naira worth of bonds across 3 maturities, and a total of 52 billion of 0.5 billion of that was allotted.
So in terms of the matured treasury bills today?
Today we had an OMO auction, but the results are not out yet. But generally, the market did trade treasury bills against the expectations that the market had. And what we had basically is an increase in yields. People are a bit more expectant of a tightening of interest rates, and therefore you're seeing that impact on the yield curve. On the short-dated maturities, on the very, very close maturities, yields are still a bit stable because there's some liquidity in the market. But on the longer-dated maturities, where expectations what drives them, you're seeing a tightening of yields there.
Yes. What is the yields? Where are the yields headed right now? We've seen 13.5. Are we around the 14% level yet? Are we?
Well, for around the 14 levels, you're probably looking at the bonds market, and on that level, we're very, very close to the 14. The longest maturity, what we call 2036 maturity, is trading around 13.9, which is where it closed yesterday at the auction. It's very close yesterday at the auction, and today the market is trying to hold around those levels currently. It is not unlikely that if perceptions of interest rates continue to be on the tightening side, we might cross the 14 levels going into the week.
Yes, that would happen going into the weekend, and of course, as we head towards the MPC decision-making day, March 23rd and 24th. Thank you very much, Bayo Omogoroye, a fixed income trader from GT Bank, one of Nigeria's listed lenders. Let's wrap up the program. Malawian motorists are now enjoying cheaper, greener, alternative ethanol-fueled cars as economic hardship forced the country to rethink its energy sources. The government hopes to win the country off its fossil fuel dependency and better harness the country's ethanol industry.
Masenko Madanitsa checks the hood of his car to make sure everything is okay before he leaves for work in the morning. Madanitsa uses ethanol to power his car. Flexible fuel vehicles like this one can be run on either ethanol or petrol, or a blend of both.
So in effect, with that box there, with that conversion kit installed, I've made this car into what we call a flexi fuel vehicle. I can run on both ethanol and petrol, or any mixture of the two.
Malawi launched a renewable fuel program in 2015 as part of the government's efforts to reduce the country's dependence on foreign oil and move to cleaner energy sources. Prescana Limited is a processing plant in Blantyre, Malawi, that produces ethanol from sugarcane biomass, a byproduct of the sugar manufacturing process. Ethanol is an alcohol fuel made from plants such as corn, grasses, or sugarcane.
Malawi going the renewable energy route will be in tandem with what is happening at the global level. And I think we can only say our contribution will be a major contribution to mitigating climate change issues with respect to Malawi's obligation at international level.
At a climate change conference in Paris last year, countries signed up to rein in rising carbon levels, gradually reducing the world's reliance on fossil fuels. Like most of the world, Malawi depends on petrol. Fuel shortages in the past have had a drastic impact on the economy of the small southern African nation. Hikes in the petrol and diesel prices also affect the cost of goods and food. While some drivers were reluctant to adopt ethanol fuel, others were more optimistic.
Yes, it will. From a cost point, definitely it will. It will save for the economy, for the person. But again, the consumption rate increases. I've used it before in Zimbabwe, and we have seen that the consumption or your consumption rate is worse off.
Proponents of the program, like economist Abel Myangyowe, say it has the potential to create jobs and in turn improving the livelihoods of many Malawians.
Perhaps maybe the domestic sort of production of this oil that would be a substitute would lead to the stabilization of oil prices in the long term, which perhaps these benefits could be passed on to the consumers, i.e. the motorists themselves. But again, also if you look at the plans of these companies in terms of their production capacity and the plans, then perhaps you could also see that there will be trickle-down effects on the employment of jobs, and therefore perhaps maybe this would trickle down into the income of local people in those areas.
An environmental expert says ethanol reduces greenhouse gas emissions and reduces dependence on foreign oil.
Petrol has more dangers as compared to ethanol. So even in 10 years, the dangers that we can get from using petrol far outweighs the ones that we can get from ethanol. So ethanol still more comes first to me.
Still, critics of the program say ethanol provides less energy than petrol and requires more frequent refueling, which reduces a car's efficiency. They also question whether greater amounts of land would be used to grow sugarcane rather than food.
Malawi making strides in alternative energy for automobiles in the country. Let's leave it there for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. Whatever you're doing, lunchtime, wherever you are, keep your eyes on Channels Television, Nigeria's news leader. I'll see you soon.